Hello, friend. Welcome. I'm Yuko, your narrator to this guided sleep story journey. As you settle into a comfortable position, allow your body to relax and let your mind drift into a world of ancient samurai clans, hidden love, and the cautious dance of alliances. As we delve into the depths of this captivating tale, embark on a serene and tranquil exploration of a bygone era in feudal Japan. As you breathe deeply, let the weight of the day slip away. Open your mind to the unfolding narrative of Hikaru and Akane, two souls entwined by a love that defied the boundaries of history and rivalry. Picture yourself surrounded by the serene beauty of the secluded bamboo grove, where fate conspired to unite these two star-crossed lovers. Witness their secret love blossom, shrouded in mystery and veiled from the prying eyes of their clans. Feel the heartbeat of their forbidden affection as they navigate the treacherous waters of a timeless romance, all while their clans stand on the precipice of war. However, destiny has a plan of its own. The clandestine affair is exposed, unveiling the fragile web of an unprecedented alliance between the Yamato and Cage clans. In the face of the unexpected revelation, both leaders, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki, grapple with their roles as fathers and samurai lords. As you immerse yourself in this tale of love, loyalty, and duty, let go of any lingering tension or worries. Allow the tranquility of the story to embrace you, guiding you into a restful sleep where dreams may carry you through this captivating journey. Now, take one last deep breath and exhale. Let the storytelling commence. Journey with us into the world of ancient Japan, where the flickering light of torches reveals secrets, and the soft rustling of bamboo leaves tells the tale of a love that defies all odds. Let the gentle rhythm of the story lull you into a peaceful slumber, as the world of samurai, ninja, and romance weaves a tapestry of dreams, guiding you to a restful and rejuvenating night's sleep. Embrace the harmony of love and peace, and allow yourself to be transported to a serene realm of tranquility. In the ancient land of Jinsora, the shadows danced with grace, concealing a tale of forbidden love between two sworn enemies. The formidable ninja, Hikaru, moved through the darkness like a prowling panther, his every step measured and precise. He belonged to the secretive Cage clan, who had been locked in a fierce and enduring rivalry with the noble Yamato clan, led by the powerful samurai leader, Lord Takeshi. One fateful night, as the moon shone brightly upon the Jinsora countryside, Hikaru was on a high-stakes operation, intended to gather crucial intel about the Yamato. The primary objective was to obtain information regarding the Yamato's military strength, strategic plans, and any potential weaknesses that could be exploited by the Cage. Gathering this information would enable the Cage to better understand their adversaries' capabilities and intentions, giving them a tactical advantage in any future confrontations. Hikaru had specific targets to observe, such as the Yamato's stronghold, their training grounds, and key figures within their leadership. Hikaru was also tasked with identifying any potential alliances that the Yamato might have with other clans or factions, as this would be crucial in understanding the larger political landscape. The Cage clan's leadership recognized Hikaru's exceptional skills in stealth, espionage, and reconnaissance, making him the ideal candidate for this dangerous mission. His ability to move silently through the shadows and gather information discreetly without leaving a trace was unmatched among his peers. Hikaru understood the importance of the mission and the potential consequences of failure. He knew that the intelligence he obtained could greatly influence the course of the ongoing conflict between the Cage and the Yamato. Additionally, he was acutely aware of the risk involved, as discovery during the mission could lead to severe consequences, not only for him, but for the entire Cage clan. As he effortlessly scaled the towering walls guided by the moon's silver light, Hikaru closely observed the layout and design of the Yamato clan's stronghold. He noted the positioning of guard towers, walls, and other defensive structures, which would help his clan to understand potential vulnerabilities and plan any future incursions. He ascertained the number of samurai stationed at the stronghold and their positions. This information allowed him to estimate the enemy's military strength so the cage could devise appropriate strategies for mitigation. Hikaru observed the movement of supplies, provisions, and resources within the Yamato clan's stronghold, which was vital in assessing their logistical capabilities and determining potential weak points that could be exploited during conflicts. He analyzed the Yamato security protocols. This included the frequency and intensity of patrols, the use of guard dogs, and the location of alarm systems. Understanding these security measures would help the cage plan their infiltration and evasion tactics more effectively. Beyond the stronghold itself, Hikaru carefully studied the surrounding terrain and landscape. He noted natural features that could be used to his clan's advantage, such as hidden paths or areas suitable for ambushes. As Hikaru scaled the stronghold with poise and silent grace, he settled close to a window where two high-ranking Yamato were discussing ominous news. There was whispers of a possible takeover attempt of Yamato land by a long-standing rival called the Takeda. The Takeda was a formidable rival to the Yamato, known for their military prowess and strategic cunning. They controlled vast neighboring territories to Jinsora and sought to expand their influence further. The Takeda clan's leader was Lord Kenshiro Takeda, a fierce and ambitious warlord who sought to challenge the Yamato clan's dominance in the region. Eyebrows raised with heightened anticipation with what was to come of this, Hikaru set a swift exit to get back to the cage headquarters to tell Lord Kazuki Hattori, revered leader of the cage, what he found out. However, he was unaware. Another set of eyes observed his every move from afar, the beautiful and spirited Akane, daughter of Lord Takeshi. Akane had always been curious about the enigmatic ninja who seemed to possess unearthly skills. She had often caught glimpses of him during their clan's skirmishes, and though they were adversaries, she couldn't help but feel drawn to him in a way she couldn't explain. His grace, his quiet strength, and the way he moved with the wind intrigued her beyond measure. As Hikaru caught sight of Akane watching him from a distance, a feeling he couldn't comprehend washed over him, causing his heart to race. He should have vanished into the shadows, but he couldn't tear his gaze away from her emerald eyes that sparkled like precious stones. Hikaru finally tore himself from Akane's stunning stare and faded into the shadows. On returning to base, Hikaru immediately sought counsel with Lord Kazuki and relayed the dire news to him. As the head of the Cage clan, Lord Kazuki was a formidable and enigmatic leader, guiding his ninja with wisdom, cunning, and an unwavering commitment to their traditions and principles. His ancestors had played instrumental roles in shaping the clan's identity and honing their expertise in ninjutsu and espionage. As the inheritor of this legacy, Lord Kazuki was deeply respected by clan members and considered a symbol of their strength and unity. A master ninja himself, having spent decades honing his skills in stealth, sabotage, and covert operations. Lord Kazuki was a living embodiment of the Cage's principles and abilities, inspiring awe and reverence among his subordinates. Being a visionary leader with a keen understanding of the changing political landscape of Jinsora, he had a knack for strategizing and adapting to new challenges, which enabled the Cage to remain relevant and effective in their covert operations. After hearing Hikaru's information, sitting crossed-legged looking out towards the lush courtyard overlooking the Jinsora hills, Lord Kazuki deeply pondered potential outcomes and what it would mean for his clan. He was familiar with Kenshiro Takeda, as their paths had crossed in a diplomatic capacity. While deep in thought, he considered that if Kenshiro was successful in seizing Yamato land, that the Cage's territory would be next. And given Kanashiro's reputation in military strategy and prowess, there was a very real possibility that this could come to pass. With this in mind, Lord Kazuki instructed Hikaru to keep a close eye on the Yamato stronghold, as they didn't have specific day or time when the Takeda would strike. While returning to his quarters for a well-earned rest, Hikaru's thoughts became consumed by his encounter with Akane. He felt love at first sight was impossible, yet there he was, mesmerized by his visions of her lush green eyes. He couldn't suppress the growing desire to be near her, to know her better. A few days had passed, and Hikaru set out for the Yamato stronghold, as Lord Kazuki got word from one of his informants that the Yamato had a mole in their midst, and sent Hikaru to investigate. As he stealthily approached a secluded bamboo grove nearby the Yamato stronghold, under the calming rays of the full moon, Hikaru found himself face to face with Akane. At first, there was tension. The air was still, inert, as if time itself had frozen. Standing as adversaries, representative of their clan's ongoing conflict, each of them with their hand on their respective weapons, the silence, deafening. Akane was a highly skilled warrior. She was raised within the Yamato stronghold after all, and trained in the way of the samurai from a young age. Under her father's guidance, she learned the art of swordsmanship and became proficient in various martial skills. Her katana became an extension of herself, and she wielded it with both precision and poise. She was also caught in a maelstrom of emotions. She could have called the guards, but something held her back, an unexplainable connection that defied the boundaries of their clan's rivalry. Breaking the silence, Hikaru finally spoke, his voice calm and measured. "You shouldn't be here. It's dangerous," he warned, but his eyes betrayed a mixture of concern and fascination. "I could say the same to you," Akane replied, her voice steady despite the tumultuous feelings inside her. "What brings you here, ninja?" Hikaru hesitated for a moment before admitting, "I was on a reconnaissance mission, but I didn't expect to find you here." "That's strange. We are in Yamato territory. The probability of our paths crossing are, well, high, one would think," Akane replied playfully. "Would this mission regard a certain takeover by the Takeda?" Akane probed. "Yes," Hikaru latently answered. As the conversation flowed, they discovered unexpected similarities and a shared longing for peace. Hikaru revealed the burden he carried as a ninja, sworn to fulfill his clan's duty, even if it meant darkness and bloodshed. Akane, in turn, spoke of her struggles as a samurai leader's daughter, feeling trapped by the expectations and traditions imposed upon her. Hikaru explained that if Takeda succeeded in overthrowing Yamato, then they would inevitably come for his clan and territory next, and suggested that despite the animosity between the Cage and Yamato, that they should form an alliance and stand united against the Takeda. In each other's presence, they found solace and understanding, a haven away from the turmoil surrounding them. Their hearts opened to one another, and an unbreakable bond began to form, one that transcended the boundaries of their clans and their warring world. For a brief moment, they allowed themselves to forget the world outside the bamboo grove, lost in each other's company. They laughed, they talked, and they let down the walls they had erected in their daily lives. But as the night wore on, the reality of their situation crept back into their minds. Their love was forbidden, their clans mortal enemies. They knew they couldn't remain in each other's arms, and the weight of that truth hung heavily between them. With a heavy heart, Hikaru knew he had to leave before they were discovered. "I have to go," he said, his voice laced with regret. "But I won't forget this night." Akane nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Nor will I," she whispered. Hikaru then vanished into the dark, leaving Akane standing alone betwixt the swaying bamboo leaves. Their hearts were entwined, and they knew that their encounter had changed everything, amidst an impending battle. Their meeting became the turning point in their lives, the spark that ignited an extraordinary love that would endure against all odds. Weeks had passed, and Lord Takeshi had sought counsel with the shogunate, the central government, who was always a potential rival for regional clans like the Yamato. The shogunate's control over the entire country meant they had the authority to challenge or dictate the actions of individual clans if they perceived a threat to the overall stability of the land. The Yamato engaged in diplomatic discussions or negotiations with rival factions to gain information indirectly. Through these interactions, they could glean insights into their adversaries' intentions, strengths, and weaknesses. Through this meeting, Lord Takeshi was able to confirm that there was indeed covert plans to take over his territories, which unfortunately for him was bad timing, as the Yamato was still recovering from a vigorous battle with another rival, and were greatly weakened. Something Hikaru overlooked due to Lord Takeshi's brilliant strategy to make his stronghold seem at optimum strength. For the Yamato, this critical piece of information became a catalyst for heightened vigilance, strategic planning, and the implementation of measures to safeguard their position and the legacy of their noble clan. But Lord Takeshi knew he would have to seek help from the most unlikely source. The historical feud between the Cage and the Yamato had deep roots that extended back centuries in the history of the land of Jinsora. Each clan has its distinct origins, traditions, and beliefs that have set them on opposing paths, leading to a complex and enduring conflict. The Cage and the Yamato were founded during a time of political instability and territorial disputes in Jinsora. The Cage was originally a group of skilled ninjas who excelled in stealth, espionage, and assassination. They sought to maintain their independence and serve the highest bidder, which often pitted them against various samurai groups, including the Yamato. Whereas the Yamato traced its lineage back to a noble samurai family that valued honor, loyalty, and the preservation of traditional values. They believed in maintaining the peace and order of Jinsora through their military strength and adherence to strict codes of conduct. As the Cage operated in secrecy and pursued their self-serving interests, they occasionally clashed with the Yamato clan over control of valuable resources, disputed territories, or conflicting loyalties to rival lords and warlords. These clashes gave rise to a cycle of violence and mistrust, further fueling the animosity between the two clans. The Cage's focus on shadows and secrecy clashed with the Yamato clan's open and honorable approach. The ninja's use of stealth and deception, while effective, was viewed as dishonorable by the samurai, who valued face-to-face combat and open conflict as a measure of a warrior's worth. Additionally, the Cage's willingness to take any assignment, regardless of the employer's intentions, brought them into conflict with the Yamato clan's unwavering loyalty to their lord and the land they served. The samurai believed in fighting for a just cause, while the ninjas seemed to be driven solely by personal gain. Over the years, the feud intensified as both clans solidified their positions and loyalty to their respective ideologies. Attempts at compromise were often met with suspicion and failed due to the deep-rooted mistrust between them. Negotiations were difficult as each clan's traditions and values were seen as fundamentally incompatible by the other. Furthermore, the constant cycle of violence and revenge bred a culture of vengeance and honor-driven conflict. For both clans, the memory of past betrayals and bloodshed made the prospect of reconciliation seem impossible. The feud had become a matter of pride and legacy for both the Cage and Yamato. Each generation was raised on tales of valor and bravery, instilling in them a sense of responsibility to uphold the honor of their ancestors. To concede or seek compromise was seen as a betrayal of their heritage and the sacrifices of those who came before them. Breaking the cycle of violence and finding a compromise would have required exceptional leadership and a willingness to transcend long-standing animosities. Moreover, external pressures from neighboring clans and warlords who sought to exploit the feud for their advantage made the situation even more complicated. As time passed, the historical feud between the Cage and the Yamato became deeply ingrained in the fabric of Jinsora's history and culture. Though the reasons for their animosity may have blurred with time, the bitterness and distrust endured, making any resolution seem like an unattainable dream. Only through extraordinary circumstances and the emergence of visionary leaders might the two clans find a path towards reconciliation and an end to their centuries-old conflict. After returning from the shogunate, Lord Takeshi paced restlessly in his chamber. He knew that a storm was coming. The situation seemed dire. The gravity of the threat forced him to consider a most unlikely alliance, seeking help from the Cage. Gritting his teeth, Lord Takeshi made the difficult decision to approach Lord Kazuki with a mixture of apprehension and determination. He sent word requesting a meeting with the elusive leader of the cage. Lord Kazuki accepted, considering he already got word from Hikaru that the Yamato had been targeted for a takeover. The day of the meeting arrived, and the atmosphere was charged with agitation, as the Yamato clan and the Cage clan had rarely interacted peacefully before. Lord Takeshi was only accompanied by his daughter Akane, as he still hadn't found out who the mole was within his ranks. They entered the secluded waterfall known for its mystique and its hallowed grounds, an appropriate setting for an unprecedented meeting between the ancient rivals. As they approached, shadows danced among the bamboo stalks, the air heavy with the weight of history. Lord Takeshi's heart unvarying, his posture composed, Akane, vigilant with her hand on her trusted blade. Although the underlying hum of the crashing water was apparent, a dense, uneasy quietness was palpable. Then Lord Kazuki, cloaked in darkness, appeared before them, his presence ethereal and mysterious. "Lord Takeshi." Lord Kazuki's voice echoed with an enigmatic resonance. "What brings the leader of the Yamato clan to seek an audience with the cage?" Lord Takeshi bowed respectfully, his pride momentarily set aside for the sake of his clan's survival. "We face a common threat," he began, choosing his words carefully. "A faction within our own ranks seeks to overthrow us and claim Yamato land. This coup poses a grave danger to both our clans, and I believe it is in both our interests to prevent it." A long, strained pause followed, and Lord Kazuki regarded Lord Takeshi with piercing eyes. The enmity between their clans ran deep, and trust was scarce. However, Lord Kazuki was no stranger to the complexity of politics. Hikaru stood in the background, trying to avert his gaze upon Akane as the splintered sun rays created by bamboo leaves caressed her porcelain-like skin. Akane, acknowledging this, tried to hide her giddy, playful grin. Finally, Lord Kazuki spoke, his tone measured and inscrutable. "Indeed, such a coup threatens the balance of power in Jinsora. Yet the Cage clan has its own interest to protect. We do not take alliances lightly." With a glimmer of hope, Lord Takeshi replied, "I understand, Lord Kazuki. If it is assurances you seek, I offer my word that once this threat is dealt with, we shall return to our historical enmity. This alliance would be temporary, but our common goal is to safeguard our lands and people." The gravity of the situation was not lost on Lord Kazuki, and after a moment of contemplation, he extended his hand in an unprecedented gesture of accord. "Very well, Lord Takeshi. For now, we are allies. Let us join forces to quash this coup and ensure the stability of Jinsora." Thus, an unlikely alliance was formed, born from the necessity of survival and the understanding that a greater threat loomed on the horizon. The Yamato and the Cage would work in concert to uncover the conspirators, prevent the coup, and protect the Yamato land from falling into the hands of traitors. Their alliance was an uneasy one, but in the face of a common enemy, they set aside centuries of animosity. As they moved forward, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki knew that the path ahead would be treacherous, and that history would remember this extraordinary alliance as a testament to the pragmatic wisdom of the proverb, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." In the days that followed, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki strategized together, sharing their insights and intelligence. The Cage's mastery of espionage and covert operations proved invaluable in unearthing the hidden machinations of the conspirators within the Yamato. As they worked side by side, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki gradually developed a sense of mutual respect, their shared goal forging an unexpected camaraderie. The Cage clan's shadowy operatives infiltrated the ranks of the coup plotters, feeding information back to Lord Takeshi. In turn, the Yamato clan's skilled samurai, guided by the Cage's intelligence, began to anticipate and thwart the rebels' moves. Though their alliance was clandestine, whispers of the historic meeting between the leaders spread among both clans. It sparked intrigue and speculation among their members, who had always seen the Cage as sworn enemies. Yet, as they witnessed their leaders working together for a common cause, seeds of curiosity and hope were planted. However, The love affair between Akane and Hikaru, which had remained a carefully guarded secret for months, was exposed in a most unfortunate turn of events. The revelation occurred during a nighttime reconnaissance mission executed by Hikaru near the Yamato clan's stronghold. Unknown to him, Akane had ventured into the area, seeking solace among the chaos that surrounded their clans. Unbeknownst to Akane, a group of Yamato samurai, led by a particularly vigilant captain, were conducting patrols that very night in response to the looming coup threat. As fate would have it, Hikaru and Akane encountered each other by the secluded bamboo grove, where they had previously shared stolen moments. Though they were overjoyed to see each other, their joy was short-lived as the Yamato samurai spotted them together. The captain recognized Hikaru as a member of the Cage, a sworn enemy of the Yamato clan, and quickly surmised the gravity of the situation. With swift action, the Yamato samurai surrounded the couple and took Hikaru into custody. Akane, her fear-filled heart pounding with desperation, pleaded with the captain to spare Hikaru's life and to keep their secret hidden. However, her pleas fell on deaf ears, and the captain knew that he could not simply overlook a member of the rival Cage being so close to Lord Takeshi's daughter. The captain, torn between duty and sympathy, decided to report the incident to Lord Takeshi himself. With a heavy heart, he brought Hikaru before Lord Takeshi, who was both shocked and incensed by the revelation of the love affair between his daughter and the enemy ninja. Lord Takeshi's anger and concern were not just for the secrecy and implications of the relationship, but also for the potential consequences it could have for the delicate alliance between the Yamato clan and the Cage clan, forged to combat Kenshiro Takeda's threat. Keeping his cool, Lord Takeshi confronted Akane, demanding an explanation. Her tears and heartfelt confession of love only fueled his inner turmoil, torn between his role as a father and his duty as a samurai lord. Meanwhile, Hikaru was taken to the Cage's stronghold, where he faced Lord Kazuki, who was surprised by the revelation, but chose not to act rashly, realizing the fragility of the situation. Instead, he summoned his own wisdom and discernment, recognizing that the survival of both clans depended on their alliance against Takeda. In a remarkable display of leadership, Lord Kazuki and Lord Takeshi communicated with each other in secret, understanding the need to navigate the situation carefully. They both recognized that the bond between Hikaru and Akane could potentially destabilize their united front against the common threat. Together, they devised a plan to handle the situation cautiously. They agreed to keep the love affair a secret, known only to a select few individuals within their respective clans. Lord Takeshi reminded Akane of the need for discretion and the weight of their responsibilities to their clans. At the same time, Lord Kazuki urged Hikaru to focus on the alliance and the greater cause, cautioning him against actions that could jeopardize the tenuous peace they had established. Both leaders emphasized that personal matters should not interfere with their common goal of combating the forthcoming battle. They knew that their alliance was founded on pragmatism and necessity, but also recognized that love and loyalty could be powerful motivators. Amidst the chaos of the imminent coup and the precarious balance between love and duty, Akane and Hikaru struggled to reconcile their feelings with the reality of their roles as members of rival clans. Though their love remained strong, they understood the importance of protecting their clans and the vague peace they had forged. In the end, Akane and Hikaru vowed to preserve their love despite the challenges that lay ahead, cherishing the moments they could steal in secret while understanding the sacrifices they must make for the greater good. As Akane and Hikaru's love affair continued in secret, fate intervened once again when Akane discovered that she was pregnant with Hikaru's child. The news came as a mix of joy and trepidation for both clans, as it further complicated the already labyrinthine situation of their alliance forged to combat Kenshiro Takeda's coup. Upon learning of the pregnancy, Akane was riddled with conflicting emotions. She knew that her condition could potentially endanger the vague peace between the Yamato and the Cage, as it would reveal the secret relationship between her and Hikaru. Nevertheless, The undeniable love and attachment she felt for the child growing within her strengthened her resolve to find a way to protect both her baby and the newfound alliance between the clans. In a moment of uncertainty and vulnerability, Akane confided in Hikaru about her pregnancy. Both knew that the revelation could potentially jeopardize the alliance that their clans had formed. Hikaru, however, was resolute in his commitment to Akane and their child, even if it meant risking everything for the sake of their love. Meanwhile, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki were faced with an unexpected dilemma. The exposure of Akane's pregnancy would undoubtedly strain their already fragile alliance, potentially unraveling the united front they had forged against the imminent coup. Knowing the importance of maintaining the alliance for the sake of their clan's survival, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki met in secret once more. In this pivotal meeting, they found themselves confronting the complexities of their enmity and the realization that preserving peace between their clans was paramount. The leaders recognized that a longer-lasting peace treaty between the Yamato clan and the Cage clan was now essential, not just for the sake of their immediate alliance, but also for the future generations that would be affected by the outcome of their choices. Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki agreed to enter into formal negotiations for a lasting peace treaty between their clans. They saw the potential of Akane's pregnancy as a catalyst for this momentous step, a symbol of hope for a future where the cycle of animosity between their tribes might finally be broken. With great care and diplomacy, they navigated the complexities of the negotiations. The pregnancy served as a delicate reminder of the interwoven destinies of their clans, illustrating that the line between friends and enemies could be blurred by the threads of love and family. As word of Akane's pregnancy spread within the leadership of both clans, opinions were divided. Some were wary of the potential risks, fearing that the revelation would lead to internal strife and weaken their respective positions. However, others saw it as an opportunity to lay the groundwork for a new era of cooperation and peace. Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki, with unwavering determination, pressed forward. They reminded their clans of the importance of unity and the necessity to protect the innocent life growing within Akane's womb. The potential future of Jinsora's generations rested on their ability to overcome the enmity of the past and embrace a future of harmony. After months of intense negotiations, both clans reached a historic agreement, sealing a long-lasting peace treaty. The alliance, which was initially forged to combat Kenshiro Takeda's coup, evolved into a deeper understanding and respect between the Yamato and the Cage. As the fateful day of the coup approached, tensions reached boiling point. The Cage clan's shadow techniques and the Yamato's martial prowess combined to create a formidable force, ready to face the rebels head-on. In the thick of the final confrontation, the two clans fought shoulder to shoulder, united by a shared purpose and newfound trust. In the climax of the battle, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki stood together at the front lines, an embodiment of the unlikely alliance that had formed between their groups. As they fought side by side, they found harmony in their unique skills, blending the art of the shadow with the way of the samurai. Their unity overwhelmed the rebels, quelling the violent advances and restoring order within the Yamato. The traitors were captured, and the threat was vanquished. The alliance had proven successful, and the land of Jinsora bore witness to an extraordinary event. The Yamato and the Cage, historical enemies, united to protect their shared interests. Alas, this was just the first battle that thankfully the allied clans triumphed, but the war had just begun. As the baby's birth drew near, Lord Takeshi and Lord Kazuki found themselves standing side by side, united not only by their shared goal of protecting their lands, but also by the bond of impending family ties. The birth of the child served as a symbol of hope and reconciliation, a beacon guiding their clans towards a brighter future. Akane gave birth to a healthy baby boy, a symbol of the improbable love that brought two rival clans together. The child's birth solidified the longer-lasting peace treaty between the Yamato and the Cage, ushering in a new era of cooperation and unity. The enmity of the past was not forgotten, but the path towards reconciliation had been paved, setting the stage for future generations to live in a world where love and peace triumphed over old rivalries and grievances. In the end, love really does conquer all,